Hey people, so I thought I'd do this video. So I think I said I was gonna do this video in the previous video. So I did the video when it's like living in a flat, and I was just kind of going through like, is it really noisy, that sort of thing. This time, which is probably more kind of informative, is gonna be what it's like living in a house share / flat share, that sort of thing. So I'm currently living in a flat share, so it's just two of us because it's 2 bedrooms. Which you don't really see that often. Most of it is house shares, but anyway, either way, the whole thing of shared occupancy used to only just be with students, but it's kind of getting more popular now, mainly because obviously to get on the market it's a lot of money. Some people can't afford rent. I mean, rent can be pretty high, and then you've got this is more for UK, I don't know about any countries, and you've got council tax, your bills, that sort of thing. So a lot of people now house share, and with house share it's pretty affordable because obviously you pay for living in a room or whatever, and then you also pay, your bills are all included in it, so included in the price, so that'll be like your electricity, gas, whatever, that's all included. And a lot of it is cheaper, quite cheap. Obviously you can get some really like luxurious ones, and then you've got your studio flats, which is a bit different. I don't know why I just mentioned studio flats, but yeah, that might be another video because some people stretch what a studio flat is. I remember when I was looking for a place like years ago, and some of the things they called a studio flat, there was only one which looked like a proper studio flat. The others was literally like a bedroom size with that tried to fit everything in one room. It's like, yeah, you're just stretching what a studio flat is. But anyway, off topic. Let's get on to the flat share and house share. As I said, they're getting quite popular. Again, they're still popular around students and stuff like that, but now a lot of people who are professionals, like working proper, like, not just like who work in sort of like, like McDonald's or shop work and stuff, like people, like proper ones that work in office, proper ones, like people with high paid jobs as well, sometimes go for house shares as well. So I thought I'd go with how it works and stuff like that. My experience is all right so far. Basically, the person I am is with a male. Obviously, if you're a female, just be careful. I know when I was looking at places, like I don't mind if it's like one male, it's cool. If you A good website to look on is this one I found actually on Gumtree, but a good place to look is I think it's like house share or something. It's like a website. I can't remember from the top of my head. I will probably link it in the description because they detail currently who's living in there. So if you're somebody so for me, I kind of try to avoid places like, I'm not saying that it's kind of a bad thing, but to be in a place where it's occupied by just full on males so far, like 3 males, and it'll be like you as female, some people may find that intimidating, that sort of thing. It's one of those things where you just have to be careful who you're living with, because obviously, as I said, you don't know, like what kind of person they are. And personally anyway, as a female, when I talk to, if I'd rather, you get what I mean anyway. So there's that. Also, you've got other dangers going through Gumtree. Yes, I went through Gumtree for this one. Just because that one there, to be fair, it could be the same with the website I mentioned as well, but Gumtree is kind of a little bit more, I wouldn't say a little bit more dodgy, but probably be a little bit more careful. I would advise meeting up for a viewing, obviously, but also to get to know, especially, I mean, it might be a little bit hard during COVID, but you want to try and make sure, like, say it's a house and you're going to view it, that you see every person that's living in the house, just so you kind of get a vibe of the kind of people that live in there. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you meet someone, you get bad vibes from them, that sort of thing. You'd want to probably just have a talk with that person, and just to make sure that you're gonna gel, or you feel comfortable in the environment, if that makes sense, and you feel comfortable while there might be people in there. And again, it's kind of judging someone by first impressions, but it's just, you get what I mean. It's it's just because it's just better, if that makes any sense. You to get to know. So with this place, obviously, I went to see a visit, got to know him. He seemed pretty cool, and everything like that. And yeah, and he explained everything and what happened to his last housemate and everything and everything. And then he offered to go on the contract, but I said no because there were extra fees and stuff. And again, I didn't really know him that well, because obviously he could just bugger off and then I'm stuck paying for the rent. I don't even know how much rent he pays for this. But yeah, so there's that. Now, another thing as well to obviously kind of establish, obviously it depends how well you know the person. So for me, I don't necessarily know this guy, so there's not necessarily, and I'm not the talkative kind of person. If you know me in person, I'm kind of a closed person, but it is good to kind of know, like when it comes to sort of stuff like food and stuff, because like things like milk. So first off, I was going to, but I realised he drinks full fat milk. I don't touch full fat milk, but if you're somebody in your place that you both use the same sort of milk, maybe have it so you take turns to actually buy a bottle of milk, stuff like that, stuff like cleaning products as well, stuff like toilet roll, everything like that. Kind of maybe if you want to share responsibilities. He's not mentioned anything like that. So all I literally clean is my room. I do want to start cleaning. I do want to do a good clean the oven as well. But you get what I mean. So sometimes they don't mind cleaning all the whole house, and then you just left to clean your room or whatever, and then obviously clean a shower after you've used it, or clean the bath after you use it, because that's obviously custom, especially with COVID. But you get that sort of thing. Some people want to split. I mean, it's it's a lot easier if, as I said, it's just one person house sharing like I am, so there's two people. But if it's a full house, you probably more likely want to split the cleaning regime up, because it's more to clean, if that makes any sense, and there's more people. But because it's just two of us, it's kind of that sort of thing. But there's that, so you might want to sort out like cleaning rotors. It would be helpful or anything like that. Food and stuff, it's like food that you're both going to share, as I said, like maybe coffee or that sort of thing, milk or bread, margarine, not so much bread, but milk's kind of the easiest one, just because obviously milk, you can't really keep it for that long. But as I said, it depends if you drink the same sort of milk, that sort of thing. Also, you might want to split meals. There's don't split meals, but sometimes, knock on my door and goes, I've got some food in the kitchen if you want any, which is fine. But half the time I've only just eaten. I've only had a little bit and stuff like that. Maybe it'd be easier if he just said, but he kind of does a lot of food anyway, and then kind of has it like each day, if that makes any sense. Like he cooks beforehand, you know what I mean, and makes it last. Am I making any sense? But yeah, that sometimes happens. Or if you feel like cooking for everyone, you can obviously ask, look, you cook for everyone, or every Sunday someone takes in turns to cook a Sunday meal or something like that. As I said, it depends. A lot of this depends on if you know the people. If you're going with strangers and you're already an awkward person like me, it gets a little bit awkward. Sometimes you want to know if they're going to be in and out, and with me, I hardly see them. Like, we kind of keep ourselves to ourselves. The only time we kind of meet up is if we're both in the kitchen or whatever, but he has two jobs, so he's kind of working a lot, and then he has his son once a week, so it's kind of that sort of thing. But maybe that may be useful if another thing, like during COVID, if they're following COVID rules or stuff like that, that may be interesting. I know I saw one ad on share on the share room thing. I think that's what it's called, share room or spare room, the website again. we'll put it in the description, of a guy saying, by the way, I hope, whoever moves into me is going to be following COVID rules. I'm in your bubble. In other words, there's no one else in the bubble, which is another question mark. So obviously, because of the situation that happened during Christmas, I've got about my bubble is stretched so much it could probably explode, will burst, should I say? So it's one of those things where, does your flatmate class as a bubble, especially if you're not that close to them? I don't know. It's a confusing one, to be honest with you. I just want to get out of lockdown, but I just thought I'd just quickly mention that. So overall, it's all right. As I said, it just depends on who who you're living with, and as I said, just be very careful if you're going to go somewhere and you don't know the person. It is advised that you meet all the people that are living in that house or flat, and then have a talk with them and see if you like their vibes and that sort of thing, because as I said, you are going to be living with them. Another thing, some of them may have pet peeves. Again, they may irritate you a little bit. He has a tendency sometimes of keeping food like in the oven, or he says he cooks a lot as well. But he has a tendency of sometimes leaving things in the oven you're not knowing, and you come to warm the heat up, put something in the oven and you see something, or leaving stuff on the hob. Or another pet peeve was drip dry plates and stuff like that. That's only just because I'm in a family that don't do that. It's one of those things where if you've not done it before and then you go into someone else's house and they do it, it's kind of a bit annoying. And another thing, sometimes I see shit in the washing machine family days, which can be a bit annoying when you need to stick your stuff in. Again, because I'm a closed person, I could just say, can you just take your stuff out of the washing machine? But yeah, oh, God, I love anxiety. But anyway, but as I said, if you're going into somewhere that you get, I think you can get police checks now. I'm not 100% sure, or that could just be on partners. I'm not 100% sure. Because you remember, whose law is it? I can't remember whose law it was, where now you can actually look up your partners if they've got any criminal record. I can't remember what law it is now. Is it Claire's law? I don't know. But I don't know if you can actually do that with kind of flatmates and stuff. But as I said, just be careful. You usually have one of those like things anyway when you meet somebody. You kind of have alarm bells going when you're sort of thinking that kind of person. But another thing as well. Now, this place doesn't have locks on the doors, and that could generally just because, it wasn't through an agency, if that makes any sense. Like, it's through him, like, so I'm giving him the rent money, so the agency or I don't know, whoever does this flat, didn't advertise it as a flat share. That could be the reason why there's no locks on the door. But obviously, if you don't people in your room and stuff, just if you've got any valuables, just stick them in I need to get like a safe thing, like or a box where I can just stick a lock on. If you are worried about people coming in and out your room. Another thing I hear a lot is people stealing food. Again, if you're worried about that, just keep your food in your room or locked away somewhere. With me and him, we have so different food tastes. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So at first I did keep my stuff in here and then just kept the chilled stuff in the fridge. But now I kind of moved everything in the cupboard because, let's be honest, it's just not gonna happen. And everything in the freezer and stuff like that. But if you do find that your food's getting it, just keep it in your room. Or even if it's coming out of the fridge, you can get mini fridges. I know it's a lot of hassle, but again, it kind of goes down to who you're renting from, and you have to be careful. Because I got a fun story, because even mates do it, because I got a fun story. So my auntie, one time, when she was younger, she had a flat share with her friends, and her friends used to nick her underwear because they didn't know how to use a washing machine. Yeah. Like, what on earth? But anyway, as I said, overall, I am kind of enjoying it here. It's not bad, it'll do. I've got no negatives. It's just a little bit pet peeves. But other than that, as I said, just be careful who you're sharing with. Just that sort of thing. Get to know them before you actually commit. To actually renting the room or wherever. But yeah, that is basically it for this video. So bye guys.